webinar, I have prepared to give a sort of like a clarity and at the same time a review what's going on nowadays with the tech and data market. And I prepare a set of slides to discuss it with you guys, or also to review what is the current situation and based, of course, in data. And so I will be sharing this with you today. So if you have any question at any time, feel free to just ask and I will be trying to answer, or we can open for a discussion. All right. So you have the mic enabled. Yep. All right, it's time to start. I will be sharing you my screen and let me know if you can see it. We'll sharing the screen. All right. Now you should be able to see it. Cool. All right. Yeah, as I just mentioned to you, I put together this presentation for you if you're looking to move to a different role in the tech or data market, or if you're looking for a job or you finished the uni and you're looking for opportunities. So if this is the case, this webinar probably will help you to get some clarifications. And yeah, that's it. My name is Ramon. I am originally from Chile and I've been living in New Zealand for the last 8 years. I've been working in the tech and data market for the last 15 years with different roles. So I've been getting a taste from different roles positions. So if you have any questions on data engineering or data analytics or those kind of roles, probably I can give you a hint. I work in software development, which gave me also to get the taste for software development and data analytics. As I just mentioned, there's a lot of questions that it comes out to understand how the tech and data market is doing nowadays. One of the first questions is, why is taking so long to find a job? I've been hearing a lot of people nowadays having those kind of questions, and this are the one that we'll be discussing in a moment. And the other thing is, I've been listening this question quite a bit, is that how many applications should I do? Is it okay to do 100, 300? What is the right number to get a job? And this is other thing that we'll be reviewing. And another important thing is basically is how you make the distinction among all those other people who are applying for the role that you want to apply. And yeah, and then other question that probably I will start to drill down on the discussion. So I will leave those here and then we'll come back to it. But before we start, this is one of the conversations that I normally have, is that there are certain things that we can influence and there are other things that we cannot. So the thing is, one second. The other thing is that if we try to influence things like what about how many opportunities out there for me, it's nothing that we can do with it. However, we can be better prepared for the opportunities we're facing. And this is one of the part of the discussion that I will put here today. This is a book that speaks about this concept of moving of the 7 habits of highly effective people. And they speak from one of the areas that is reviewing this book. It's about 3 habits that you could do to create impact in the things that you do. So this is guide me through when I went through challenging times and hard to find a way to get opportunities for myself. And the first one is be proactive. I know that proactive can be a subjective point of view. From different people, they could think something different. However, be proactive means for me is do things that nobody is asking you to do. And so in this way means that if it's nobody saying that you should learn a specific skill, so get out there, find the skills that you think that are relevant in the market and take an initiative and start to learn and practice them up. This is one of the concepts for most important that represent this book. And the other thing is begin with the end in mind. Sometimes when we want to do specific things, we don't see why we are doing it. And so one of the first things that you need to tattooing your forehead is to, if I want to do this, is because I would like to get to this point. So starting with the end of mind is so important. So if you want to be the leader in the industry, or if you would like to be someone recognized, or someone that companies would like to hire, is that this is the kind of purpose that you need to put in your thoughts. And lastly, put the first things first. I know that this can be quite tricky to understand, but this means basically that what is important is important for you now. Applying for roles is important today. Catching up with friends is important as well. However, there are first things that you need to look after when you're looking for initiatives to be able to find the right job for you. So this means that instead of spending a lot of time or scrolling, you should be actually applying. So that is precious time and energy that you spend. So energy is not that limited. So you should be able to focus in the things that provide you the most the things that can provide you the more value in this job seek. All right. And one of the things that I was mentioned to Mo before is that the tech and data market, we say that it changed a lot. However, the roles is still similar to what we used to be some years ago. The thing that I want to show you now is about one new concept that I've been listening a lot. And this concept, I put it here in one of the articles that I wrote, is that there are different kind of roles that you can develop for a company nowadays, and doesn't mean that the only one is full-time employer. There are other roles that they are open for you if you're looking for opportunities. For example, if you're looking for opportunities as a contractor, there are full-time opportunities as a contractor for you. Also, there are part-time opportunities for you, consultant opportunities, of course, permanent employee opportunities, freelancer, which means that there's someone hired for a specific task but don't engage in any like a formal contract with the company. So you go and develop a website, and that is all what you're doing, and then you don't work in a fixed hours. So you normally work for projects. And the new kind of role that I've seen a lot in the last few years is fractional employee, which means that you will be able to work like one day a week for this company, another day of the week in this another company, and so on. So you can fill it up the whole week with different companies. I know that it could sound a bit overwhelming, but nowadays there are many small or medium companies they cannot afford a data analyst, and so we make it really easy and approachable to start with someone from one day a week. So this is another kind of opportunities. I've been connecting with people the other day from US, and they are saying that this kind of role are starting to sound more a bit, because think about a startup that only has 10 employees. They have developers, they have salespeople, they have HR, and they have super small and content team. And they could hire someone to become their data analyst, however, without paying like a big consultant company. So become a fractional engineer, you become with a competitive rate, hour rate, but also you provide a great value to the company. And sometimes company just needs like 8 hours a week of total work, and from there you can provide a great value. So this is one of the concepts that I've been seeing a lot in the last few months. And this article that you can find on my website, excelandbi.com, you will be able to see that here is a comparison among those 5 types of work models. And so that means that if you are looking for only permanent role, probably you will be able to see even more opportunities if you look a little bit wider. All right. So this is what I want to invite you to discover. And sometimes if a companies that are not keen to hire you as a permanent role, probably could be an opportunity for you to work with them as a fractional role, which is also could be known as a part-time role. But this name I've been hearing that it gets more popular. So now I would like to open the microphone for you guys. if you have any question before I keep going with the presentation.
Not from my side.
Okay, thank you, Mo. All right, I will turn off this slide. Thank you. All right, the other thing that I would like to share with you is that, one second. The other thing that, as I just mentioned to you, I would like to share that I just will enable the mic to Arjun. Hi, Arjun. The other thing that I have prepared for you in the presentation is some insights on the recruitment agencies. Those reports you can find, for example, in robertwalters.co.nz. You can find all those roles and be familiar with the salaries. Of course, if you've been looking for a job for a while, those numbers could look really attractive, but something not that close to you. So this also gives you a range of salary that you could be looking for, but at the same time, it sets you a bottom line. So if you're looking for a help desk role or a service desk analyst, if you're asking, for example, for $50,000, it will be putting you lower in the band, which means that being below of the bottom band, it can create some uncertainty in the recruiters. So I would recommend you to do a bit of research when the company asks you for your remuneration target. So in that way, you will be able to be in the market, because having the conversation with few people, I've been hearing that people ask for too low, and sometimes you have the title, you have the experience, you have everything that you need for this role. However, you're asking way lower than the market, and that it can highlight some flags. Of course, there are ethics around of the recruiting agencies that normally they will share with you what is the salary offers. However, it can make it a bit tricky if you're asking for too low. And the other source that I found, it was highs.com, and here it gives you another perspective. And if you're looking to open your horizons to Australia, this one also compare the market with Auckland and Australia. And here they are the most typical roles for BI and for data, which are data engineers. And I think data modelers and machine learning engineers are one of the ones that are better paid. Does anybody has any questions or comments? Feel free to question. All right. And so feel free to ask. That's what I say. As you can see, this is just, I want to show you a snapshot of the salaries, but it's just because this can give you a perspective for how much you could ask for the roles that you are targeting. All right. And this is one of the most common situations. It's like, I've been looking for a job. However, there are many areas that I don't have experience, and it's like the chicken or the egg situation. It's like if I don't get the job, I won't get the experience, but they ask me to have experience. So this is one of the biggest areas of concern. So if the gap between what you know and what the company needs is too big, it will make it a bit hard for you to fit in this culture. However, if you'll be looking for a specific roles, there will be certain things that will be repetitive. For example, if you are looking for more data engineers roles, which means that more in the coding side, more in the data pipeline part, probably you will need to be more, you should have more knowledge on the coding part. So learning programming languages like Java or Python, it could be something really important. And the best way for you to find what are the trends is through a simple LinkedIn search, or just going to ChatGPT and trying to find it out if this is the kind of role that you would like to do. So find what are the main technologies, and so you can start to get trained on those kind of technology. And Most of the people who sign up today are from Auckland. So if you have the Auckland library, you can get the access to LinkedIn Learning. So if you need that information, just reach out and I can send you the link. All right. So the big gap is your experience and what the job market needs. And one of the things, this is what I put in LinkedIn, and this is what recommends me. Sorry, this I put in ChatGPT and put me the reference here. For data analyst roles, I still think SQL is one of the most important areas to have experience, and also Power BI. Power BI is because it's not the best tool in the market, but it's the tool that is more used in the government and the corporate side. So if you want to start in your journey of data analytics, you will need to start to must know those two skills. And also to be able to gain experience with this without even finding a job is to play, create, and then publish on your like a portfolio of what you've been doing. Power BI give you opportunity to publish dashboards openly. So if you have sensitive data, this is probably won't work for you, but you will be able to public your dashboard that you create with someone else. So if you are looking to start to create your portfolio, I will suggest you to start to spend hours just creating. Together with the time that you spend in applying for roles, you could also spend hours creating dashboard, playing with SQL. Nowadays, SQL, you could play on websites. There are a few websites that give you SQL access, or start from scratch. Just installing SQL in your computer, learning how to install it, learning how to pull certain data, learning how to do queries. But I will say that when you start on this kind of technologies, the only way to learn is practice. So if you just read manuals and you watch videos, sometimes it's not enough. There are certain groups that they are calling like 100 days of coding, 100 days of Power BI, or 100 days of certain specific programming languages. And that way, within 100 days, if you just do a 1 hour each day, you will ended up with 100 hours of knowledge, which probably will put you in a really good position and a really good experience with tools like SQL, Power BI, or learning more about data science. So whatever that you learn in the university or whatever that you learn in the school, those without practicing, it's really hard for you to show your knowledge in an interview. For example, saying that when I work with SQL, one of the biggest problems that I have, it was blah blah blah. So this one shows, because when you hire someone, you're not looking for the things that they doesn't know, or what the things that they know. You're also looking at the problem that they face and the way how they went through it. So for example, Snowflake also provides you free license that you can use for 30 days, I think, or many of those technologies, they give you access for 90 days, or they give you access to just a portion of the total solution. So if you think that the roles that you would like to be doing is data analyst, Power BI, SQL, Microsoft Fabric, it could be the tools that you should be practicing today. So you don't need to wait until the job opportunity arrives. You can start to practice right now. And of course, some project ideas, as I just mentioned to you before. If you would like to work as a data engineer, learn how to make data pipelines and create as many data pipelines as you can. If you don't have access to the cloud, you can do it in your computer. There are many tools out there for you to start to create them. If you want to create dashboards, just download Power BI in your Windows computer and then create as many dashboards as you can, and those kind of things. And as you can see, all those access is completely free for you nowadays. We're in the day that technology is nearly free, which means that we only pay for internet or even we just go to the library and we hotspot into the Wi-Fi from the library, and we'll have access to all this world of technology. In communication skills, this is another important area for us working in tech. Communication skill is something that becomes every day a must, that you should be able to work it out. So areas from where you can practice your communication skill, of course, one-on-one conversation with people that you doesn't know. For example, inviting someone for a coffee that you doesn't know. I know that puts you in a tricky situation, but this is the only way from you can start to practice to speak with someone you doesn't know, which will be the situation if you face an interview. Of course, public speaking is something that can help you, but if you feel that your pronunciation of your accent is putting certain barrier with the people that is interviewing you, the best way to practice that is recording yourself or facing into the mirror. But I think with the technology available that we have nowadays, we can just record ourselves for 10 minutes every day for 10 days, and we'll end up with a lot of minutes of footage, which we can later review, and then we can practice. When I moved to New Zealand, I used to travel a lot with certain words, and the way how I got better with those specific words because my accent, it was to practice them over and over again, recording and listening, even though it was a bit painful. This is what it gave me because if you don't know which areas that you need to improve, it's really hard for you to improve. So this is what recording, it will give it to you. And this, before I jump into this last bit, I would like to hear from you guys if you have any questions or if you have any comments. I will love to hear them. I just allowing the mics to everyone. So if you have any comments, this is an open microphone, guys, so just feel free to ask. If not, it's totally fine. So I will jump into the last bit from the presentation. And yeah, as I just mentioned before, if you think, I will be sending you a link on the resources, for example, the Auckland Library, from where you can enter to LinkedIn Learning for free, and then other links that probably it will be important for you. After this call, you will receive an email from me with those details, okay? All right, let's go to the last bit of the presentation. One of the things that I believe it happened to us when we move to a new country, or we be facing like a long time without having a job, is that you start to get disconnected of what you used to do at work. For example, if you took a sabbatical and then you want to come back to the job market, it is a lot of disconnection between what you remember, what you used to like and what you don't. So volunteering is a great opportunity for you to get closer to the job market. And I will say this volunteering means do it for organizations. I think volunteering for private companies is not a win-win situation most of the times. So if you're looking for an internship, it's one thing, but volunteering for working for a company for 3 months for free is completely unsustainable. So I won't recommend you that. Instead, I will recommend you to do like 2 hours, 4 hours, or 10 hours of volunteer a week. And in this way, you will understand the things that you like most. And also here in New Zealand, there are so many opportunities for volunteering. There are events. For example, it's one of the events that I think quite often in Auckland, which is called Migrants in Tech. It's a really cool event. And for those kind of events, they're always looking for volunteers. Or for example, if you're in the marketing side, just reach out to any marketing association that there will be running an event in the short time. You just reach them and then you can go to work with them as a volunteer. And the good thing is also they give you free entry to those kind of events that are normally $400. So it's a win-win situation in those kind of specific situations. All right. And also, if you've been working within a team and you didn't have much experience working within a team, working as a volunteer also give you some practice on the certain areas and even polishing your communication skills. And one of the last thing that I want to mention to you is to connect with people. Of course, always this is an important bit because working every day looking for a job, it becomes a lonely journey. So connecting with people is something that it can really help you. The app, my favorite app for looking for events locally is Meetup. And the other one is Eventbrite. In here you can find a lot of events that happen in person actually, and then you can interact with people one-on-one, which is one of the greatest one. And this event is happening on the 18th of September. It's Migrants and Tech, and you can register from the website. Also, we'll be sending you this link. And this is just migrants that works in data or technology in general. So you will find people that super similar with you, even probably from your home country. And lastly, guys, you got this. This is the, again, the diagram of the habit of 7, I forgot the name of the book. Let me go back. 7 highly efficient skills that will put you aside. Just let me show you the book again. I forgot it, sorry. The 7 habits of highly effective people. I read this book quite a few years ago, and I found it's really good. And still things nowadays keep resonating with me. So if you have it, or if you buy it, or if you even check in the library if it's available, I think it's a good way to understand what are the things that you can do to change your current situation. So I just want to wish you all the best. Thank you for attending, and I will be opening the mic if you guys have questions or comments.
Hey Ramon, Ravi here. Thank you so much for the wonderful presentation. Really enjoyed it. I was curious about the slide that you showed around the salary, right? And I was just wondering, like for my future aims and goals, I was looking more towards upskilling towards that data or integration architect role. You can say that's I'm already like an associate architect. That's most of my job in my current project, and I was looking to upskill in the architecture space, specifically integration architecture or solution architecture. So I was wondering if you had any advice around that, based on the experience that you've had or colleagues that you've talked to or are connected with.
I think the data architects is a data architect, isn't it? Or technology or software architect?
Yeah, I would say solutions architect, but more specializing in data integration.
Okay. I think that there's a lot of lineage involved for architects. So let me remember one of the tools that they normally use. There's a software that I remember similar to Visio, from where they use it to create designs. Do you know Visio?
Yes, we used to use it in one of the previous phases.
And also, one thing is just to put the things on paper, but the other thing, there are certain frameworks that you could do a bit of research. I haven't worked as an architect by myself, but part of my roles is doing architecture. And normally the architecture starts with the problem situation, and you start to show the flow. But it's a lot of framework, I will say.
Right.
I will write it down and see if I can send you information. But I hear a couple of architects, friend of mine, and they speak about certain standards and frameworks that they follow. Because it's not. Can you imagine if an architect just designed the thing how they were, whatever they were liked? So there are certain standards, and that people follow frameworks. So I will try to have a look on, ask one of my friends he can give me a book or something like that for you.
Sure, that sounds really good. Thank you. And also another question related to maybe now specific to the salaries. I was just curious for senior devs and maybe like associate architects, that sort of level where you're quite experienced devs and almost moving into the architecture space. What sort of salaries are you seeing in the market, just based on your experience? Like, are we seeing salaries at least around the 180 200k range, or would you say those are really rare?
This is I will send you the links from where I download the cheats. However, I feel that sometimes those sort of surveys doesn't really reflect the actual market. Of course, if we are talking about data, I will be based on the data that they present, and I won't tell you something without the facts. But speaking with colleagues or speaking with people in the market, I heard that architects are one of the highest paid instead of a data analyst, for example. And I will say that probably the picture that I show you with the salary is quite true. So if you are looking to be on the top of the salary range, I think this is one of the areas. And one of the other things that architects do a lot is meeting management. So for example, you will need to deal with 10 stakeholders and arrange the meeting with them and be able to do really well follow-ups with stakeholders. I think that soft skills are quite important, because I heard a friend that he say that he thought that doing data architecture, it will be doing drawings all the time, but actually it's like 70% of meetings.
Right. And
you ended up with so many meetings. Yeah.
No, understandable. And in the IC space, like the individual contributor roles, senior devs, what sort of salary levels are you seeing, in the market at the top end? I was just curious because I feel that there's a limit, but I'm not sure if it's just me and my skill sets, or if there's like an actual limit of any specific values that you're seeing generally. Like, what's the max sort of salaries or range that you see around you?
Look, instead of that, I will look for the report that I just showed you, and that way we can speak about the facts, and I will give you my opinion. Maybe someone else in the call also can give them their opinion if this looks fact or not. Okay? So
sure,
I won't compromise that, because it's really sensitive, because if I say like a data analyst can earn up to 250, the expectations go high. So I will be rather support my answer in the data. So if we are data people, probably
spoken like data, folks. And I do understand when you say the upper limit, that might be only very few jobs out of the overall number. So that's why you're might be not a bit hesitant to comment on it, but I do get.
I just have this in front of me. So you're looking for an architect.
Yep, data or integration architect.
It's
I think this one's different, right? This one's the construction related.
This one has everything, including the technology ones. So this is project architect. This is definitely architecture. This is definitely construction. As you say. Let me get to the point of the. Yeah, you're totally right. This one doesn't have it, but I just don't want to say a number that.
No, later. Sure. All good. I was just trying to get some, experience, like feedback, from the guys who are actually, in the space and in the industry, rather than the report, because sometimes, like you said, I think it might not be accurate, but that's all good, totally understandable. Thank you.
I found that sometimes those report it's 100, but actually when you go and face a job interview, the actual money that they are looking for is 80. And it always goes lower than the average. I haven't seen, at least in the interview that I've been, I never seen that something goes above the average. Normally it goes below, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also it created a lot of expectatives. Those kind of like, this is what I think that following a range is better. But instead of to just go directly to the average, you can go to the average. I mean, you can ask for whatever do you think that you value, but I think it's good to understand also, for example, if you think a data analyst salary should be 180 and everywhere they're offering you 70,000, you really go down in the morale because you feel that the information that is out there is actually not true.
Yeah.
So that is why the expectative is an important thing. Does
fair
anyone in the call has any comments on this?
Maybe we can... Ramon.
Hey, John.
This is John. Just to provide a little bit more of information to Ravi, that looks like he's quite interested on the architect IT system. So I think through Meetup, he can enjoy a group from AWS, and the name of the group is Well Architecture Framework.
Mm-hmm.
They have meetings once a month, and they provide feedbacks, they provide information about architecture, and also they provide courses for free with AWS.
Yeah, that is true as well. AWS has a group on Meetup in Oakland, and they meet every so and then to review certain new technologies, especially for AWS, because even though the clouds are quite similar, I think that if you become like a specialist in a specific cloud, like a AWS or Azure, you start to become in a niche. So I think that the best, that is the goal that you would like to aim, I think is that just check for roles in LinkedIn and find the commonalities on the skills that they ask for.
Yeah, but I think that's great advice, Ramon. I'm certainly I've been doing that, since the last couple of months, not just as I was, starting to explore the architecture space. And thank you, John, for that comment as well. I just became aware of that group maybe a couple of months ago. I think I did attend one meetup. So yeah, just aware of that group, and I'll go there more frequently.
Yeah.
Thanks for that. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, John, for providing that information. And I think there is the right place to make those kind of questions in terms of specifically for architect, because you will see other people doing the same. I know that it's quite upfront asking for the salary, but it's a different way to ask. And something that I do is like, what is the range? And that way you don't ask for specifically for the salary, how much you earn. You say like, what do you think is a range for a junior, intermediate, or senior? And I think I feel more comfortable answering a question like that instead of to someone asking me what is my salary, if someone I doesn't know.
No, fair enough. Yeah, that's a good point. Thanks, Ramon.
No worries, Ravi. Does anybody else has any question or comments? All right. If not, we'll be calling out this session. Thank you, everyone, for joining, and I hope it gives you some different perspective. I don't say that I have all the answers. That is why I chose data based on the main consultants here in New Zealand. So I will be sending you the links from how you can register to receive those reports, and also will be sending you some different links that probably will help you in your job seek, or if you're looking for upskill yourself to move to the next kind of role. Okay. Without saying anything else, I really appreciate it. Have a lovely night. Bye, guys.